All right, giddy up, boys. We've got a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 for the tight end start 10. Scott, are you going Garrett Wilson and a 25 second, let's call it mid, or a playoff 25 first and a 26 second? Go ahead, man.
So how should I value the seconds here? Do they matter, Shane? The 25 versus the 26? Do you care?
They're things. They are things. I mean, I guess I value the 25 second because it's closer. It's nearer. It's the time money thing. So yeah, the 25 second.
So the 25 second is like a $20 bill in a machine that only takes bills, and then the 26 is $20 in quarters.
Time value of money. Time value of money. I should have remembered that. I've talked about that before. Yes, sorry.
All right. But the reason I asked you was because, well, essentially, to me, the seconds are operating as the same placeholder. So it's Garrett Wilson versus a late first. Listen, I mean, just because they get Davante Adams doesn't mean Garrett Wilson changes at all. He's the same player. You hope the offense gets better. They need to play faster. But if the offense is good and overall they can sustain drives better and they can convert drives better and score more points, Garrett Wilson is going to be fine. So the fact you could get him for a late first, even me, who doesn't like to trade first, would trade Garrett Wilson or trade a first for Garrett Wilson if it's a projected 2025 playoff first. I'm willing to do that. And the second, okay, maybe I get the second. I'm actually getting the quote-unquote better second here because someone may think it's more valuable than the 26, even though I don't really care. So, yeah, give me the Garrett Wilson side.
Sure. Any other thoughts, Shane, before I move on? You good?
No, man. Look, I'm buying Garrett Wilson for this. Yes.
Love it. Shane and I just recorded a short about Garrett Wilson.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that popped in my head when I saw that Davante Adams got traded there was, can I get Garrett Wilson cheaper now? Like, can I get him cheaper now? Because why can't he still be the wide receiver one there? Now, I know obviously Adams and what's that guy's name? Rodgers. Deep connection. They've loved each other for a long time. So much so that Davante Adams said, please get me the fuck out of Green Bay away from this psychopath so I can go play with my college buddy. But I digress. There's the non-zero chance that Garrett Wilson is just a better receiver than Davante Adams in his current form, and they aren't the same type of wide receiver anyway. So anyway, that's the first thing that popped in my head was, maybe I go get some Garrett Wilson now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so if you're new to the channel, go ahead, Scott.
No, I think what gets lost in the analysis is that this kills Garrett Wilson, but really what it does is it makes you now have to be a little more cognizant of what the concentration looks like in the offense. Like, somebody's going to lose. The Packers play at the Jets play at one of the slowest paces. Rodgers has always played that way. And somebody's going to lose opportunity. Now, we think it's probably Alan Lazard isn't going to get 7.5 targets a game anymore. Tyler Conklin's not going to get 6 targets a game anymore. Like, you hope that's where you see the pull away from, and it goes to Davante Adams instead of Garrett Wilson. We don't know that, though. But I think it's just as reasonable to think, okay, maybe those other positions, I know I'm a Bengals fan, but look at what the Bengals did when they got Higgins and Chase back. Guess who gets all the targets? Them, not the tight ends. So, you just got to kind of hope that it falls in the favor of Garrett Wilson is what he is. Now, does he have the ability to get 45% target share going forward? Probably not. But you don't need that to be what he's valued. So I just want to throw that out there that we sometimes just assume, they bring in Adams, Wilson's dead. That's what Twitter told me today. Wilson's crushed. If you have Garrett Wilson or Dalton Kincaid today, they're basically out of the league, according to X. But
come on, man.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Shane and I, before the stream, were talking about how it might be cool to have a show about kind of eyeball test stuff. You watch Garrett Wilson play football, you're like, okay, he's quite good. I brought up the example of Zay Flowers as a guy who looks like a dog, just likes to play football. So let us know in the chat if you agree that could be cool, or throw out your own ideas, man. We are 3 men of the people. So let's go to, I was going to mention too, last thing. So you're going to hear us mention, if you're new to the channel, start 8, start 9, start 10, what have you. What we're talking about is how many you start in your lineup each week, not including kicker and defense. So the whole idea is start 8, start 9, or super shallow. So you want to consolidate whatever depth you have into hammers, which you'll hear us say. Start 10 is kind of the baseline, like midline. Start 11, start 12. You'll hear randos mentioned in these trades, but they're very relevant in a deep format like that. So giddy up, boys. Shane, we're going to start with you on this. Matty Boy, 34. Thanks so much. 3 hammers. Buymeacoffee.com/trades in 5. Shane, 12-team superflex, half PPR, no tight end premium. Start 11. Daniels, May, JJ McCarthy, Stafford, and backups at quarterback. Spears, Brown, Bucky Irving at running back. Rashi Rice, Addison, Yoshivas, Whittington, Ruckert at tight end. 625 first, 625 seconds. It says he's a deep rebuild with 18 picks in 25. Have an inbox offer of May, my 25 second, and a mid 25 third for Kyler. Does this trade make sense for a roster like this? Activity level in the league is high, and he is second to last in max points for. Go ahead, Shane. Let me clean this up. 12-team superflex, half PPR, no tight end premium, start 11. Go ahead.
Man, so yeah, in a vacuum, this deal makes sense. If you take away my absolute fear of Kyler regressing this year and looking absolutely horrendous, not so much. I don't feel like I need to move May right now. I don't feel like I need to add anything to May to get another quarterback. I've got Daniels, May, and JJ McCarthy. Like, I don't know that I need to expend additional assets for a quarterback right now. That's not really what I want to do with my assets. If I could tell you I could give up JJ McCarthy, who I've never seen play, and I liked May better than him anyway. If I could move JJ McCarthy and some refuse for him, sure. But I got to be honest with you, I'm not going out of my way to buy Kyler right now. And specific to this team, I don't know that you need to add assets to add another quarterback when you have one stud, one that's a decent enough starter that you can get in there, and then 2 that are upside. Clay left. He's had enough of this.
No, I think Clay's trying to fix his tech issues. I don't know if he sounds a little echoey, but anyway, I mean, I'm with you. This is a weird trade because you probably wouldn't expect to get this offer from a lot of people with the situation your team is in.
Mm-hmm.
But Shane, would you trade the 102 Drake May for Kyler Murray in the 104 right now?
No.
That's the impact this trade could have if Kyler Murray hits your lineup with a couple more top 5 weeks, which, okay, is he going to be QB2 on the season? Probably not, but he's probably going to outscore Drake May by a decent amount of points the rest of the year. If he does, you potentially made the trade and hurt your own draft pick because he mentions he's second in potential points. If you become third in potential points or fourth in potential points, the trade actually hurts you, even though you still made a trade that you think was a good dynasty trade until you factor in the price of those picks. Then you shouldn't have done it. Plus, you're giving up the extra assets. Right. The chat nailed this. You nailed this. Is it a fair deal? Yes. If you told me I want the quarterback that I've seen be a QB1 many times before, then I'll take Kyler. But it's just not a trade that can we make a different type of trade? Can you give me a player and I'll give you a couple of those picks? You know what I mean? Can I make it to where maybe I'm getting extra incentive from the deal versus I'm just giving you 2 picks? It feels like somebody that would send me this offer that was giving me Kyler, Shane, they want out of Kyler, right?
Yes.
So why am I acquiescing to what they want when I'm the one that shouldn't even care what I'm getting right now? You know what I mean? Like, I feel fine with my QB room because it's part of the process that I'm already in. So.
And, and it's all good and well and good to say right now, like, what's the difference between 102 and 104? Well, look at this past year. The difference is Jaden Daniels or Rome Odunze, Drake May. Like, which one would you feel better about having right now? Now, obviously, that's assuming you hit, but whatever. I guess, okay, well, Clay's not coming back, so I'm going to get the next one. How I have an inbox. Oh, wait, we already did this. Hey, hold on. I don't know how to do these.
We forget how to host a show together, okay. Shane, so just rip through it.
3 stum ones. 10 by 12 superflex tight end premium 1.75. Eerily familiar looking quarterback room. Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Andy Dalton, Andrea Ocasio. Brees, a chain. Henry, Mason, Wright, Warren, Neighbors, Lamb, Evans, BTJ, Tank, the Hop, Trash, Mandrews, Conklin, Sinnott or Sinat. No 25 picks. Fourth for record and points, but only 20 points from the point leader. Suggestions for improvement: need to move some QBs, but Dalton is helping me win and no interest in AOC. There's no question there at that point. So moves. There's a reason there's no interest in AOC. He's fucking terrible. So there's that. At least Dalton is playing well. If you're moving someone, I say move Dalton. But if someone's trying to trade from you, I'm guessing they want Dak, even coming off his 3.53 point fantasy performance or whatever it was, depending on your scoring. So,
Clay, welcome back, Clay. Shane Shane read the whole question and then answered the whole question. Dropped an Andrea Ocasio in there, which he tried to make the joke but didn't nail the name.
I don't even know her name. I don't remember her name.
Desperately need Clay back on the stream.
What's her name? It's
Alexandria.
Alexandria. That's what I meant. Yeah, she's.
I just love how you read the question and then you just answered
it. Just started ripping it. Yeah. How's my audio? That's
so. Scott, we'll start with you. Any moves?
Is it better?
It's better now, Clay. It's yes.
Okay. Let me clean it up before Scott goes here.
Rescue the show, Clay.
I'll tell you, I can't wait to listen back to it. Honestly, I listen back to every show. So we got 3 hammers from someone. This is a 10-team start 12 superflex tight end premium, 1.75 at the tight ends. Dak, May, JJ McCarthy, Dalton, AOC, Brees, Achan, Henry, Mason, Wright, Warren at running back, Neighbors, Lamb, Evans, BTJ, Tank, D-Hop, Mandrews, Conklin, Sinat. Did I say that right, Shane?
Yeah, you didn't say Snot. His name is Sinat.
No 25 picks. Fourth for record and points, but only 20 points from the points leader. Suggestions for improvement: need to move some QBs, but Dalton's helping me win. No interest in AOC. Go ahead, Scott. 10 by 12.
Well, it's a 10 by 12. That's why you're not getting any interest in your absolute shitty quarterbacks. I mean, nobody needs them. Nobody needs to go down that far for a starter because it's a 10-teamer, not a 12. Even in a 12, there's people that have no interest in Aiden O'Connell or Andy Dalton, unless you're in a best ball league. So I think it's going to be tough to upgrade QB here, but this is a team that obviously you've had some players that have even underperformed. I mean, Brees Hall, Devon Achane. Like, you have a couple guys right there that you were anchoring your running back room with that haven't done that. Now you've gotten a lot from Derrick Henry and Jordan Mason, but I think this is a team that I guess it comes down to, are you willing to sell one of Achan and Brees for a slight quarterback upgrade? And when I say slight, meaning you're going from would you go from Drake May to Baker Mayfield? Like, you don't want to, but that would
right?
You're not there's nothing on your team you're probably adding shy of Malik Neighbors or CeeDee Lamb that are getting you to one of the true elite quarterbacks. So it almost feels like this team should try to win with the other stuff and just roll with the quarterbacks you have and just say, okay, I can use Andy Dalton and Drake May going forward, and hopefully Dak Prescott bounces back and gives me a top 15 season. I mean, it ain't looking super promising at this point, but you're not upgrading to QB.
Sitting there. At least the stack is sitting there. I'm not sorry to jump in, but when I say Dak's not probably getting you a top 10 season, because it doesn't look like that, but what are you going to do? You're not going to trade him. If I said, here, I'll trade you Jaden Daniels, but the price is CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. That doesn't help the team, but that's probably going to be the price for you to get one of the quarterbacks that's clearly better. So it feels like this team is, you've made your bet at QB with this team. You're just going to have to go as far as
laying it.
These guys
and Shade already talked about this, right? I can't wait to see how this lined up, but we're going to move on. Thanks so much. 3 hammers from someone. This is buymeacoffee.com/tradesen5 if you want to get your question answered on the stream. We're going to start doing a bunch more. I personally am going to host some other experts or try to talk Shane and Scott into doing more of these. So let's get the hammers piling in and win some chips. 3 hammers from BT 242. Scott, we're going to start with you, man. This is a 12-team, 1 QB switching to Superflex next year. You know how much I love to see that. Start 9. A-Rich, T-Law, 10 backups. Or I'm sorry, A-Rich and T-Law at quarterback, 10 backup running backs. London, Adunze, Rice, Waddle, Dell at wide receiver. Hawkinson at tight end. 225 first. 1 is his. 1 is mid to late. Also has 225 seconds. The trade is give London and a late 25 first. Get Mahomes. So I reiterated on this banner. It's a 12-team start 9, 1 QB, switching to Superflex. One last note is most people aren't worrying about QB rooms until we flip over next year. And QBs always slip in our rookie drafts. Not sure how to handle a rebuild and format change with this offer. Thanks, guys. Hey, appreciate you, man. So again, real quick, 12-team, 1 QB, start 9, switching to Superflex. Scott, London in a late 25 first or Mahomes?
Do we have any clarification? Are we adding a starter here, or are we just changing to Superflex? I assume we're adding a 10th starter.
Let's assume that. Let's assume that. And your current quarterbacks are A-Rich and T-Law, because you'd be giving London and a late 25 first, getting Mahomes. Okay.
All right. So I'll say this. This kind of goes to the last question we had, or 2 questions ago, with the Drake May and picks for Kyler. It's just, it feels like it's an okay value. Like I'm on board with the let's try to buy Mahomes when he's attainable if I can get him at like a normal quarterback price. But this also feels like a trade that if you make this now, you are now taking the risk that the quarterback market in this league is going to bounce back. And now, because you have T-Rich or T-Law, A-Rich, and Mahomes. So now you have an extra quarterback in a league that you've never seen value quarterback before. I know it's moving to Superflex, but what if we get to next year and people still haven't adjusted to the QB values and you're stuck with these 3 QBs all year and you're going, man, I'm just a couple skill players away from contending. Plus you're giving away the first.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it all freaking day, man.
If
people will learn.
If you can bet that you can turn T-Law or A-Rich into a, let's just call it a Drake London level type of asset. You know what I mean? A receiver that you know you can start, another starter that you know you can start. I'm okay with it because essentially you've done a 3 for 2 here and you still addressed other needs besides. I mean, you're getting a pretty cheap Mahomes here. This is a decent trade for Mahomes. And I can see why the team that's probably doing this probably wants to make this deal because they have Mahomes and like Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like this year they're smashing because they're getting the first and a skill player that's way better than a backup quarterback.
They don't need Mahomes. They want Drake London who's scoring fantasy points and they get a first on top of it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Shane, any thoughts here, man?
No, Scott crushed it. I'm not going to talk just to talk.
No, hey, fair enough. Fair enough. BT 242. Thanks so much for this, Hammers. Appreciate it. Let's move on to a question from the crowd. Starred, I love this. Jeff's raw milk. I found purpose in life with Dynasty Trades in 5. Love the crew. I appreciate you, man. It says, look forward to Tuesdays now. Oh, it must be new. Rock on. Okay, let's go to Fight on 1. Shane, 10-team, start 12 Superflex. Looks like it's 4 wide receivers. I'm just going to confuse everybody. 10-team, start 12.
I got this.
Oh,
I got it. It's a 10-team start 12 Superflex. There's 4 wide receivers and a tight end is 2-point tight end premium. He traded Chase Brown for Amari Cooper. His running backs are Hall, B-Rob of Washington, and 6 on a 53. His wide receivers would be Jamar Chase, Jaden Reed, Lad McConkey, DJ Moore, and Cans. He's light at wide receiver because my tight ends are McBride, Pitts, Laporta, and then Njoku. I don't know that if I have a wide receiver room that starts with Chase and DJ Moore and who was the other gentleman? Reed, that I would consider myself light on. I would not consider myself light on wide receivers, especially when you have McBride, and Njoku, Laporta, and Pitts, and I put them in that order. Yes, I did. And a 2.0 tight end premium. I think your tight end room is excellent, and you only need to start 3 of those receivers and Lads Trinity. Lads working, man. It's coming.
So
You missed
so
a
it's
key
a
point here,
4 wide
Shane.
receiver. It's a 4 wide receiver.
Oh, it is start 4 wide receiver. Oh, that's
Yeah.
what that is. Okay,
With
I
4
didn't know what the hell
receivers
that
and
was.
2 running backs, the relativity is he probably is light on receiver.
Okay, now I got you. Okay.
So
Well,
in that case, I would take Amari Cooper for Chase Brown.
Well, I'll say and I'll say this though. I mean, even if you are starting 4 wide receivers, I can't confirm or deny that. But if Ladd McConkey is your 4th wide receiver starting, you're probably not that bad. I'd be okay with that. But
Sure.
yes, I'd prefer to have Amari Cooper, Josh Allen's wide receiver 1 as of 3 hours ago. Yes, I would prefer to have him over Ladd McConkey this year.
In 2 PPR, you're also flexing those tight ends.
He's flexing every one of them.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. Yes.
Right.
What
Okay,
was the
let's
question?
Yeah, there actually wasn't a question. There
Okay,
wasn't
good.
a question. Yeah, there was like an agree and then some sort of emoji.
Okay.
I don't know.
We like the deal.
I didn't see a question mark.
Good job.
Yeah, rock on roll. So let's go to 3 hammers from Dylan Scott. This one, when I was putting it in, cracked me up. He's like 1 in 5 with with like a sad face emoji. And starting to panic. Mahomes, A-Rich, Geno, Watson at quarterback. Breeze, Ken Walker, Dobbins, Mason, Singletary, Kareem Hunt. Then at wide receiver has AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Olave, Waddle, Jamo, Ladd, Downs, and a couple others. Bowers and Hawkinson at tight end. In terms of 2025, my first, another top 24, or I'm sorry, another top 4 first, the 201, couple thirds. Let's see. Was favorite headed into the year, but now I'm tied for second to last. 4th in max points for, 1st in points against, as I watch Shane. Have an offer for a 27 first, mid to late for Ken Walker. Sent some offers out to move from Mahomes, decent league activity, but it's hard to consolidate for hammers. Okay. So the eventual question here, Scott, is gives a mid to late. Yes. Wait. Is he giving a 27 first, mid to late for Ken Walker?
No, he's giving Kenneth Walker for the 27 first, but we don't even have the format. We don't have the number of starters or teams or anything like that.
Let's do this though. Let's do this. Dylan can clean it up at some point. Let's go 12 team super flex, small tight end premium start 10.
Yeah, but he mentions how shallow the league is. So I'm guessing this is probably like a 10 by 9 or a 12 by 8 or something like that. I mean, I see why he's frustrated because he's got a pretty good team on paper starting the year. You're thinking, man, I have Mahomes, A-Rich, Geno, Watson. Like I have more than good at quarterback. And you really don't. Your best quarterback's been Geno Smith by a long shot. And, what does that say? And then you've had other guys that have missed time. I mean, AJ Brown, Jamison Williams, or Jalen Waddle. Like, I can see why this team's struggling. Chris Olave screwed you a little bit. Breece Hall screwed you a little bit. I mean, I can see why this team is struggling, but it's also a team where you can't just strip it down. You have too many pieces. You have too much talent to just strip it down and tank your team to the bottom. So, I don't know. It's a first for Kenneth Walker. I'd rather move other guys, but like, can I move something plus Kenneth Walker to get a first and a second? Can I move like Josh Downs and Kenneth Walker to get a first and second? Something that gives me a little more liquidity that's not probably going to kill my team after this year because I still have plenty of pieces that I can build around. I mean, can I get something for Kareem Hunt? Can I get something for Jordan Mason, like J.K. Dobbins? These are all guys I'd be more focused on getting seconds and thirds for than I am to move Kenneth Walker for a 27 first.
Yeah, as is, I would not move him for a 27 first, regardless of format. Shane, any thoughts there? I like how Scott mentioned a couple other options like packaging with Downs, see if you can do something cooler. But you're not doing. Are you selling Ken Walker for just his 27 first?
27?
Yeah.
No. I've seen a lot of trades today where people are congratulating the people that have traded for 27 firsts as if it's a good thing when it's a main piece of the deal. And I am fucking perplexed. And I'm sorry.
Because it's Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, Shane.
Absolutely.
They're the 2 greatest players in history. Yet when you try to trade Jeremiah Smith in a league where you have him already, crickets. Nobody's interested.
Yeah, I like 20. I love draft picks. You know that, but I'm absolutely perplexed by some of the deals that I've seen where people are using 27 first as if they are 25 first, when in fact they are not the same year. But no, I'm not trading Ken Walker for one measly 27 first. Ken Walker is killing it in WAR. Ken Walker is killing it in points per game. Ken Walker is having a wonderful season that we probably should have seen coming. So no, I will need more back.
A little advice for Dylan too. Dylan, when it comes to trading guys like Kenneth Walker, you're probably going to get few and far between offers that are in the level of range you want to trade him, right? The other guys like Kareem Hunt, I spam Kareem Hunt for any third to any team in any year. J.K. Dobbins, a second, any team, I don't care. Devin Singletary, gone. Jordan Mason, gone. Like, I can move a couple of those, and I don't care if it's 26, 27. But Ken Walker, I think, in especially a shallower league, you can be a little more calculated in terms of what you get back. You don't have to take the first offer that you get.
You do not.
No, good stuff there. Shane, let me tee you up with this question while I get a couple banners together. Dynasty Empire asks you Shane's take on Sirianni. Go ahead.
Look, I appreciate the enthusiasm. He truly obviously cares. I just want to put that out there, right? Because the first thing you want to do is let the employee know that you value them. You are valuable to our organization. I do wish that you would not act like a raging fucking asshole towards the fans when you just beat the Cleveland Browns, who are maybe one of the worst teams that I've seen in quite some time. So maybe just chill, bro. Just chill. And then you can't act a fool on the sidelines and then bring your kids to the presser as a shield. First of all, they're your kids, and that is a bitch move if I've ever seen a bitch move. And that's the only reason you did that. So I'm not too okay with that. So I'll say this. I like his energy, but dude, you got to be the adult in the room. Like, you have to bite your tongue. You are the head coach of a prominent organization in a city that is pretty vocal. And
you have to deal with that shit if you're going to be the coach in Philadelphia. Right. Let's be honest.
You need it. You just have to have a tough skin, dude. You're in Philadelphia. I'm sorry. Like, if you can't take a little booing, then you need to go somewhere else. I don't know. Like, where don't they care? Dallas, they're not real football fans. Washington.
Well, hey, look at
other
Baltimore, for
franchises.
example. Yeah, look at Baltimore, for example. After the Commanders game, everybody saw that tweet going through with that.
No, I didn't.
There's this huge Ravens guy who just cocked this Commanders fan for no reason. It's like, oh, do we have a straggler?
And his life is over now. He's gotten fired. He's been doxxed all over social media.
As hell hope so, man.
Oh yeah, his life's over. It was a huge story.
I could not mute the post enough. I swear to God, on a couple different profiles, I muted it, and it's just disgusting, bro. Like,
I didn't even
holy rebuild Batman. Yeah, you didn't, but holy rebuild Batman. Baltimore restart. Go ahead, Jay.
I will say this though, man, and there are bad fans everywhere. I know Philadelphia has the reputation as being probably the worst, but San Francisco and Raider fans will absolutely kill you, literally kill you. Like, an Eagles fan will probably try to fight you and throw something at you. San Francisco and Raider fans are like next level. Like,
they're hardcore, huh?
Yeah. So all that to say,
people, right?
Nick Sirianni, just chill, dude. Stop yelling at your own fans. You know what I mean? Like, it's cute when you're yelling at Kansas City fans, right? Because they suck. You're yelling at New Orleans fans because whatever, screw them. But you're yelling at your own people. Like, you should know better, bro.
It does not happen in the Midwest. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, those fans are so far intoxicated that they're not capable of anything worse than just
that's not what I thought you were going to say. I started nodding. That's not
like the guy with the better human.
Dude, the Steelers fan with the Joey Porter jersey on, he's harmless because he's
he's good.
Gone.
Yeah, he's
doesn't matter.
I think
I'll tell this funny story. My dad is a huge hockey fan, right? So he goes to all the games here in Columbus. And they get their arenas, it gets invaded by all the real hockey fans, right? Like, everybody from Toronto and Buffalo, they come here and just take over the arena. And the best pushback on somebody from like Buffalo is like, dude, you're not going to do anything because you live in Buffalo. You're like, that's what you have to go back to Buffalo. So you're the real loser. Anyway.
so it's a trek. It's a trek to get back so you can talk your shit, but
it's legit. Like, it's like when, you ever seen the Rams games or the Chargers games where it's 80% of the other fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You go to a Toronto Columbus game, it's 75% Toronto fans. You're like,
we're Miami. It's super weird because it's super transient.
Any of those cities, it's just they get invaded.
Little known fact that I've learned during the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef. They have gangs and stuff in Toronto. Apparently, Toronto is a real city with real world problems up there. I just assumed everyone in Canada was friendly and like handed out maple syrup to each other, but no. Apparently, they have like gangs and stuff up there. So
apparently it's a clean New York, but they do eat a lot of moose, is what our editor told me today. Yeah,
moose makes you angry. I have a trade question.
Yeah, please.
Kyler Murray in a mid 25 first. Right now, it is the 105. For Jaden Daniels and DeAndre Swift. Team getting Kyler and picks. Didn't finish that sentence. So the team getting Kyler and the pick is very, very bad and needs to make multiple moves and probably needs to move Jaden Daniels.
I'm guessing Shane is on the side of he needs to move Jaden Daniels. Wow, look at that stoic look. He did not give away anything with that.
I feel like he read it and then like was hoping somebody else was just going to roll with it. And it was
I'm just curious. I'm just curious on the thoughts of the room. Also, I typed it up and forgot words. So that's great. and mistyped the word. So there's that. Anywho. Sorry. You guys think on that. I'd like the audience participation, and then
the process says take Kyler in the top 5 pick.
Give me Jaden Daniels and DeAndre Swift if I am going for it. I'm going for it.
Absolutely not going for it. You are absolutely not going for it in this situation.
Give me Kyler. Give me Kyler in the pick.
Okay, I've known Shane a long time. I'm guessing Shane has Kyler in the pick, and he's tempted 100%. By the new toy, Jaden Daniels. And he knows his team has zero business trading 2 assets for 1.
So he asked for DeAndre Swift.
He wants another 100%. Jaden Daniels.
You're right, Scott.
That's what he wants.
He's so heavy, Kyler. I am too, honestly. I am too.
So 20%. It's just interesting. It's just apropos of nothing. You have a trade offer, Clay. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, let's do that. So still I haven't put together a banner here, but let's go to Jared that we have starred here. Here's the first one. Wicked Pisa 1. Thanks for all you do,
Wicked
gentlemen.
Pissa. It's Wicked Boston, Pissa, bro. Wicked Pissa.
Wicked Pissa. That's pathetic, Clay. Thanks for all the work you do, gentlemen. I've turned my team from the bottom of the league to a contender in just 1 season because of the process you preach. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking a sec to let us know that. Seriously. So Jared from the audience says, 1 of 2 help/advice. Scott, this is a 12-team superflex start 10 PPR. Quarterbacks are Hurts, Dak, Geno, and backups. CMC, Mason, Monty, Mostert, Gibson. At running back, then we have Tyreek, AJ Brown, Amari, Pittman, Wilson, Hollywood, and then Laporta and Kraft at tight end. Have just my 25 fourth and then a 26 first. I know, it was embarrassing for Jared to type that too, but slight humble brag. Okay. 6 years of Dynasty with no rebuilds. This might be it. 1-5 mid in terms of points for, third points against. Is this just a bad injury / schedule luck moves? Appreciate the help. Yeah, I love how I was like trashing these like 6 years of Dynasty with no rebuilds. Flexing hard. What are you doing, Scott? 12 by 10 super flex.
Oh, man, I definitely think it qualifies as one that you could turn into your first rebuild. I mean, that's cool. 6 years, no rebuilds. Some people enjoy doing it. This is probably one where you're just going to have to swallow your pride a little bit and admit it's time. Now, I just want to give a little Just an observation of maybe how you got here a little bit. I do think we probably came into the year. I mean, we didn't know Geno Smith was going to be as good as he is, but on a team like this, after a couple weeks, you were probably getting frustrated because you're like, Geno Smith's my best quarterback and he's on my bench and I'm not playing him. So like that should give you kind of a ring a bell on your roster construction going forward. Like that's a lesson that you don't need a third quarterback if you're going to roster all the backups. I mean, CMC and Mason, I mean, that's an argument for not handcuffing because that's great that Jordan Mason has been great, but it's been at the expense of your own player not being available. It's like this team, if it had Jordan Mason and not Christian McCaffrey and Geno Smith was on somebody else's team in lieu of another starter, you could absorb the Michael Pittman not being great. You could absorb the Amari Cooper not being great or the Tyreek Hill injury at quarterback. I would just think a little more about the construction, but a lot of this is bad luck. You've had some injuries. You're overweight at quarterback. The ones you've probably started have not been the ones you probably should have started every week, which makes it more difficult to stomach the fact that you're having to tear this team down. But Shane, this team's not going to make a recovery. I mean, where are the difference makers on this team to say they're going to carry me for the next 8? I mean, you need Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown to just blow up for the next month, and you need Tyreek Hill to come back, which means you need Tua to come back. You probably need McCaffrey to come back. I mean, it feels like a lot has to happen, and you don't have enough time at 1-5. You can't be 1-7 and say, I'm going to try to still win. Like, it's got to be, you got to rip 4 or 5 wins off in a row here.
Yeah, it's just it's not meant to be, and that happens. You know what I mean? Because you look at the roster at the beginning of the year, like Hurts, Dax, AJ Brown, Cooper, Pittman. I don't know if I'm.
It's looking
Hill,
it's looking nice
Hill.
though.
I'm like, I'm a pretty good team with my quarterbacks in Hill, AJ Brown, and Cooper. Like that's not a bad wide receiver room, and CMC. But you know what? Sometimes life just doesn't go that way. So yeah, I'd probably be looking to sell Mason if I still could. Mostert, you're never going to be able to get any real value of them. Can I add a couple things together and get a second since all you have is a fourth? You know, like Mozart, Gibson, and I called him Mostert, Gibson, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could move Monty and Mason for a first. You know what I mean? With CMC, hopefully there's no trade deadline when CMC comes back, just because he's a running back and I'd like to get out of them. As soon as he pops 2 games doing CMC things, he'll be infinitely more valuable.
Let's talk about this real quick because we don't ever hit this time of topic on the show, but
Go for it.
What are your guys' thoughts on handcuffing?
Yeah, let me read this, Scott, before you start. Let me tee this up. Ricardo Martinez asks, is it bad to handcuff your own running back? I'm not getting that logic. And Scott, talk about lineup versus best ball, because that's something I was thinking about when you were talking earlier.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the theory of that roster that was just posted. When you knew McCaffrey was out, he hasn't even played this year, right? He's been out from before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
And then you found out pretty quickly after a couple weeks that it was going to be a long injury. It wasn't going to be he's back in week 2, week 3. I mean, it was like he's going to be out till week 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? It was going to be over half a season that he's going to be out. At that point, regardless of whether you have 1 team, 5 team, 10 team, Jordan Mason is smashing for you, right? You've already realized that outcome. Now, if it's redraft, you have no choice. Like, okay, you're not trading Christian McCaffrey really for anything meaningful. But in Dynasty, the reason I wouldn't handcuff, at least after I found out Mason was good, is why didn't I trade McCaffrey? At that point, you've already you've seen half of the lottery ticket numbers before the drawing. Mason has already shown he's helping you. At that point, bet against McCaffrey ever even coming back. Trade him, get another asset for him, but holding him and going as soon as McCaffrey's back, Mason's dead. It feels like you're leaving some of the precious extra value you have on your team. Like you benefited one, but you hurt the other. You didn't realize any outcomes above the status quo. It's easy when we're all in 30 plus leagues. Yeah. I can go, I don't need to handcuff because for every McCaffrey I have, if I have him in 5 leagues, I'm screwed in those 5, but I have Jordan Mason in 8. So I'm happy in those 8 with the volatility that hurt me in the 5. But you only have 1 league. I just don't want to handcuff McCaffrey Mason because as soon as one realizes their outcome, the other one gets hurt. There's not really a net gain there.
Good stuff there. At Chi-Town Saluki, Got us a hammer. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. It is buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5. Again, we answer them on streams like this. Tuesday streams, don't make it mega time sensitive. Okay. So like inbox offers and stuff, not the best application for this. So just the more evergreen, the better, but we're going to do a lot more of these hammer streams. So donate to the channel, get your trade answered on a live stream. At Chi-Town Saluki, thanks so much. Shane, this is a 10-team superflex, start 10, half PPR. Looks like it's a half point per first down, 4 point per pass TD. We have Hurts, Kyler, Caleb, Levis at quarterback. That's nice. Running backs are Mixon, Montgomery, Dobbins, Hunt, Roshan, Braylon Allen. Then we have wide receivers, Neighbors, London, DJ Moore, Waddle, JSN, JMO. Nice little team here. Tight ends, McBride, Laporta. Has all the 25 picks. None of his own, but I have the likely 101 and an early second and third for next year, it seems like. What to do with this team is the question. Shane, 10-team superflex, start 10, half PPR. 4 point per passing touchdown. I like that quarterback room. Hurts, Kyler, Caleb. What do you think, though, man?
I'm looking at which one of those I can move. Can I move Hurts? Can I move Kyler for AJ Brown? I know I can. I know the answer to that because I did that. But even more so in a league like this where you still have Hurts and Caleb after that. Now, obviously, Caleb is off this week, so that would kind of suck balls because then you're empty at the QB spot because Levis does not count, and I would not put him in the super flex spot over Mixon, Montgomery, Dobbins, Hunt. Okay, that's it. He wouldn't start over any of those running backs.
I moved to the next screen here. So wide receivers are Neighbors, London, DJ Moore, Waddle, JSN, JMO stacked at wide receiver, and this is a 10-team start 10 half PPR.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's trying to get confirmation on which way he should move. This is
exactly what are you doing with this team? Was this question?
It's too good of a team to go. All right, well, I'm going to bottom out because, well, you can't. You're 3-3, right? So yes, in theory, you could go 3-10, but I don't know that your team you could even get it bad enough by just shedding the non-foundational pieces because you're still going to have Hurts, Kyler, Caleb. Montgomery, well, maybe not Montgomery, but Neighbors, London. Who else was the other wide receivers? Like your team's going to be too good in it.
Yeah, DJ Moore, Waddle, JSN, JMO. It's
that you wouldn't be able to get to the bottom. McBride, Laporta, etc.
What you do is you trade. I've done this before. You take the team of the pick that your pick is competing with, and you just give them like Kareem Hunt and Juju for free.
Just swap that shit.
Stop serious.
Yeah, man.
Like you said, if you're in a potential points battle, I've legit taken like all the shit on my roster and I'll just give it to you for free. All the shit that I know I'm pretty confident I'll never get any value for. If I can't get a third for Juju or a third for Kareem Hunt, I literally just send it to that team and see if they're dumb enough to accept the trade. I'll send you 7 players for free. And if it costs them one spot, if it moves me up from the 102 to the 101, that's worth all the bench fodder.
Yeah, sure. No, that's an alpha flex there. Yeah, with this team, personally, I love it. I'm not messing with it that much. It's a stacked team. And you said you're sitting on the 101, maybe 102. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying this team. I'm not messing with it. Okay. Let's go to a starred one here. I like this. Did we already cover this one? JNH707 says, got Drake May and a first for Kyler. Did I cook? Well, let's do this. Crystal ball, Shane. You gave Kyler. You got Drake May and the 106. You gave Kyler. You got Drake May and the 108. 12-team Superflex start 11.
I should say Kyler, right? But let's look at it from this prism. Drake May was what, the 105 this year, roughly, give or take?
Ish.
105.5.
Yeah, 105 to 107. Yeah.
All right. Someone offered you the 105 and the 108 for a quarterback that, yes, he's a top 12 quarterback. He's QB 12 in points per game, depending on what scoring you're looking at. Is a QB 12 a needle mover? And, I'm a Kyler guy. Obviously, he could bounce back, but I think that's enough. That's enough to move Kyler for. I'm also pretty high on Drake May. Like, I think Drake May can be kind of special. So I would do that. I'd be okay with that.
What do you think, here, Scott? Quick answer. So again, I said give Kyler. You're getting Drake May and the 108 12 team.
If you're high on Drake May, I have no qualms of taking a deal like this. I mean, that's how quick stuff changes. Because I think unless Kyler gets better, he's not. What has the pulse on Kyler been all night? A little disappointing. Like there's nobody out there clamoring to go, I got to get him. So in that case, I mean, the way Dynasty's played now, give me the extra first and Drake May. And maybe I regret that in 2 weeks or in the off season, but I'm guessing when I'm getting a deal like that, especially if I don't care, like the first question we got half hour ago, why do I want to add to Drake May to get Kyler when I really don't care about the now? Stick with the process.
Yep, good stuff there. Let me go to this last starred one we have, and then I got to load up some hammers. We got to get caught up, and I'll be feeling good. This is from Baby Dragon. It says at all. Shay, did you start this? Because it looks like he sent this out to all of YouTube. Okay, Baby Dragon. Baby Dragon asks, do I trade Tracy in a mid to late first for Bijan? I'm rebuilding. Excuse me. I'm rebuilding though, but I feel like it's pretty cheap for the Dynasty running back 1. Okay, so that's a statement right there. But Shane, trade Tracy in a mid to late first for Bijan. Let's assume a shallow league here, man, like a 10-team start 9.
Yes.
Let's assume it's a deep league, Clay. 12 by 12.
Okay.
Because I think the deeper league, in a shallow league, you're taking Bijan. Because if he rips off 2 good games, you're doubling what you just got for him. In a deeper league, we're in a lot of 12 by 12s. Like, guys like Bijan are tough to move because you're looking for the good 2-for-1, and someone's looking at the deal going, man, you're making me give Ken Walker and Devontae Smith. No way. I'm not giving up 2 pieces like that. I think the deeper league makes it hard for me to buy the Bijan because I don't know if it's guaranteed that I turn around and just sell him for more. Shallow league, it's easy though. I agree with Shane.
What if it's trade? Go ahead, Shane. You were about to talk. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Tyrone Tracy is absolutely electric, boogie woogie woogie. But I don't know that we can. I don't know that we can just pencil Tyrone Tracy into what was he, running back 3 or 4 this week. He was up there last week. I just don't know that we can pencil him into that just because that's what he's done for the first 2 weeks. We have seen, believe it or not, players do stuff like this in the past and then just fade away into the darkness or, more closely into RB2 range. So there's that. There is the fact that Bijan hasn't played to what we had hoped he would be, right? He had 25 points this week, so he was definitely a top 5 running back, right? But that would have been his first top 5 running back game of the season, which is not what you're expecting out of the QB.
He also played the Panthers.
Running back 1.
Everybody kills the Panthers.
He did play the Panthers, who are terrible. Tyler Algier put up points too. So it wasn't just like it was Bijan out there wrecking shop. And if you look at it, their usage was similar. At least it looked like from my eye test. I didn't look at the actual stats, but it looked similar to what it's been in the past. It's not like Bijan ran away with it. I think I'm talking myself into just taking the pick and Tracy.
Hey, whatever. Again, like the other stream, we had a stream the other day where you talked us through the whole process and whatever it was valuable. So if you moved yourself to Tracy in the pick, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
There's also a world where Tracy over the next month just outscores Bijan, and you're going like, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say this: he's playing the Eagles this week, and if Devin Singletary, if they're in a split, I would take Tracy over Bijan this week. I don't even know if the Falcons play.
Well, it would be easy if they don't play.
If they don't play, 100%. But if they do play, I think I still would take Tracy because the Eagles can't stop any facet.
The Falcons play the Seahawks at home, who are also the worst team against the run. So I think Bijan and Algier are another nice tandem to start this week.
We're gonna eat.
Here's the takeaway for me. If you're right on the running backs every year that somehow manage an 80% work share, and they fall into the offenses where it's like, oh my God, they're putting up 20 points every week. You feel good. But a lot of times, if we learned anything, it's not always the guys you think. And so if you don't, put it this way, anybody out there that doesn't have Bijan or Brees on their team, that's not why you're not winning. If you're like, oh man, I've just rolled out, Chase Brown and this guy every week, like you're probably doing okay. That's not why you're losing. You're losing because of all the other positional advantages and receivers have gotten injured. But like if you've been rolling out, Jordan Mason and Chase Brown, like you're cooking it running back. You have zero interest pumping extra first to upgrade to Bijan. You know what I mean? Not right now. Not if you have enough options.
My best teams, a common thread is freaking David Montgomery, baby. I mean, I happen to have so much Monty, and I was not expecting him to be a freaking running back one or whatever he is. He's a horse who's, good on you, Monty.
I have multiple teams where my running backs were so bad that I've just continued to have to start Chase Brown and DeAndre Swift, and I'm putting up like 40 points a game between the two of them. And it's like, why would I need to trade for one until these guys are gone?
Yeah.
I just saw this, and I'm sorry. It's been a busy news day. Apparently, Cam Akers was traded to the Vikings for a 26th, 6th. Conditional 7th round pick. Cam Akers.
Back to the Vikings, Shane. Remember they cut him last year after he
was he there
his Achilles
for a hot
again.
second?
Yeah, he was on the Vikings when he tore his Achilles.
There's a trend here with his last 3 teams. They got to look at him and said, leave. Please leave immediately, sir. During the season, please go away.
The Vikings traded for him last year. The Vikings traded for him last year. They traded for him 2 straight years. So
I'm more concerned. What does that say about Aaron Jones? But it could mean nothing.
What does that say about Myles Gaskin? All those Myles Gaskins I've picked up.
I did not pick up Myles Gaskins because I went through that trauma 3 years ago, and I'm not doing it again.
All right, we're gonna move on to a hammer because we got to try to go through these. But fun stream thus far. We've done some awesome little side tangents. JJ, thank you for the hammer. Hey guys, long time listener, first time writing in. That's awesome. Bit of a pickle in one of my dynasty leagues. This is a 12-team superflex start 11 PPR. Shane, this is for you. It's 1.5 for the tight ends, 6 point per passing touchdown. So 12 by 11, Shane. Quarterbacks are Stroud, May, Tua, Penix. Running backs, Tracy, Davis, Wright, Estime. Wide receivers, Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Dell, Downs, Douglas, and Mike Wilson. Tight ends, Pitts, all picks. What is this? Started off 0-8 game against the median. Problem is I'm now 4-8 and in the top scoring 3 teams in the last few weeks. I'm wondering what my next step is as I have my own first and would like to ensure to get the 101. So I kind of stumbled through that. But Shane, it's a 12-team superflex, start 11, small tight end premium. Okay, so still fairly deep. Started 0-8, loved it. Now 4-8 against the league medium. Would like to get the 101. But what do you think? Here's your team, dude. Stroud, May, Tua, Penix at quarterback started off.
I mean, you've had Rice go down to a catastrophic knee injury. Waddle go down to a Tua injury. Dell not play several games. Downs not start the season. Pop Douglas be absolutely useless for the first 4 games of the year. Michael Wilson giving you 11 points per game. Kyle Pitts giving you 2 starts. And Buddha, Jesus, whoever you pray to, has decided to give you 4 wins despite all that.
How is this team beating the median every week?
Tracy. I don't.
It's because you're forced to start Michael Wilson and Pop Douglas and Josh Downs and Kyle Pitts, and they're all smashing.
Josh Downs has had a few good weeks out of. I think he's been back.
The last 2 weeks, if you started Pop Douglas, Josh Downs, and Kyle Pitts, you're smashing out of nowhere.
And Tracy smashed for the last 2 weeks.
Drake May, okay, he's back. I just happened to start him. Okay,
Davis went nuts for you yesterday, Monday. Whatever day it is, Tuesday.
Doesn't it feel like if you ever needed a lot of those guys,
bro, we're streaming.
If you ever needed a lot of those guys to come through, they absolutely wouldn't do anything.
No. Yeah, as soon as you confidently stick them in your lineup, 6.55 points. You're like, son of a Bitch, are you kidding me? It's one of those games where like one fumble takes away half their fantasy points, and you're like, I hate everything. All that said, again, we talk about it. Like, are you bad enough to get to the bottom? With Stroud and May, unless if it's potential points, obviously, if it's not, you can put May on the, what do you call that? The taxi. Because you could put Tracy on the taxi. Obviously Rice is already there.
Just a reminder, and Scott can chime in again if he wants, but actually we have to move on. This is a 12 by 11. I don't know, Scott, you want to throw in one last thought?
Well, I mean, the problem is the team has probably been setting a lineup just because they have to set a lineup, and they're beating the median, and it's hurting their potential points. I don't know if it's potential points. I mean, you are hurting your potential points because they've gone up where other teams they haven't. So I think you got to make some moves. You got to get some of these guys off your roster. Like, this is a time to trade Ray Davis and Tyrone Tracy. Like, those are two players that I like them, but they're running backs. They're day 3 running backs that they're either in the same role next year or there's other guys that are in their place. Like, they got to go. Pop Douglas has got to go. I mean, some of these guys that are too good for your team, but not actual assets, like those are the worst pieces to have on a team like this, to the point where, I mean, if they were guys slightly worse than these guys, I would cut them if I'm trying to tank. But these guys are too good to cut, so you got to get rid of them. Yeah, at least a couple of them. So,
yeah.
Get more guys like Jalen Waddle. Try to find more Tuas and Waddles where they're good long term, but they're absolutely terrible right now. I mean, can you swap Ray Davis for Tajay Spears and a third? Because Tajay Spears, I mean, there's a lot of running backs got injured this week. Can you get Rashad White for Tyrone Tracy and you get back a third, something like that? I mean, I don't know.
You have to grind with this team. I'm just looking at it, and it's like this one takes some work in the start 11. You got some nice pieces, but yeah. Don't you agree? I mean, if he gets a 101, that 101 is on the block for me. We got to keep moving, but okay. So let's go to a 12-team superflex, and I do want to give the shout out. This is JJ again. Thanks so much for giving the hammer. This is buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5. It's a Shane 12-team super. It's a Shane. This is a nice deep format here. Giddy up. 12-team superflex, start 12. 2 of which are tight ends. It's only an additional 0.5 for the premium, though. So PPR 1.5 for the tight ends, but you have to start 2 of them. 6 point per passing touchdown, rebuilding, and should pretty handily get the 101. May Jones, trash at quarterback. Jefferson, Nico, Garrett Wilson, Wandale, Wilson. Tight ends are garbage. 225 first, mine and a projected late. 225 seconds, 326 first in a couple seconds. The trade is give Garrett Wilson in a second. You're getting Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco. So I'm going to come back to this banner, Shane, but it's fairly deep. 12 by 12, you're starting 2 tight ends, 6 point per passing touchdown. You are giving Garrett Wilson in a second. You're getting Rice and Pacheco. It's pretty easy for me, but go ahead.
But I want to know what's easy for you. What side do you like? You like the Garrett Wilson?
Give me some Garrett Wilson right now. Yeah. Give me some health and a second to fuck around with.
Would that change, Clay, if you were at risk of being like the 103 or 104 and the Wilson to Rice would help your points go down? Because that's what I thought of. And then he said, I'm already at the 101, so getting the points off your team doesn't help much. I would easily trade Rice for Garrett Wilson, just given the fact that one's a more live asset during the time where I could still move him versus Rice. I'm going to have to wait till next year. Second and Pacheco. I mean, I'd rather have a second over Pacheco if I'm in this team situation too. So it feels like it's a fair deal on both sides, but you know, what can you do more with over the next month? It's probably Wilson. If he continues to be good, you know, even with Adams, I think he'll get even more community boost.
Let's look at this, Shane. The tight ends, he said, is trash. And this is a start 2 tight end and a start 12. Literally doesn't list a tight end. What are we doing to address that? Getting smoked. And it's fine. Again, trying to get, 101 or whatever, I guess. But you got to address tight end at some point.
I mean, instead of moving, never mind. I was going to say, instead of moving Garrett Wilson for Rashee Rice, can I trade him for Brock Bowers? Give me Brocktavius on this team.
Probably
Brock will
not.
give you. Well, fine, and I'll add to him.
If you
Right.
could, I'll send
Okay.
that freaking offer and see. Yeah.
How about this? How about Nico Collins for Brock and something else?
No,
You're not going to get something else.
You're not going to
Right.
get something.
you're
else.
not even getting. You're not even getting Nico Collins for Garrett
No.
Wilson.
No.
You're not.
He's got
You're
Nico
not getting
Collins on
Brock.
him.
You're not getting Brock Bowers for Nico
No, but I mean,
Collins.
you already
That's
said
what got,
you
right?
would. You wouldn't be able to get Brock Bowers for Garrett Wilson. You're not getting Nico Collins for Garrett Wilson. So then you're not able to trade Nico Collins for Brock Bowers either.
You don't think you can get Nico Collins for Garrett Wilson right now? No.
Nope.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I would just decline that or add a third to whatever side I'm on for
All
that
right,
to even happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the tight end position, it's starting too. There's, I'm starting. Who is it? Dylan Culp every week. I don't even know if that's his name. Dalvin Culp.
Devin Culp.
He's
Devin-
going to be
he's
a
never-
monster in 26.
He's never ever actually started a game yet because he's never been active. But I gotta keep putting him in there because my tight end room is trash. Dude, all you can do is keep.
I will say
drafting.
this.
Really.
In these two tight end leagues, it's very hard to get the tight end one. It's very hard to get Laporta, Kincaid, McBride, right? You know what? It's not that hard to do. Find yourself finding hey, this week I have Eric All and Brenton Strange, and I'm actually like average. That's not that hard to get. Like tight ends at that
That's-
level come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So if you're starting brand new and you have no tight ends and you lack assets like this team, like if I have Brock Bowers, you know what the price for Brock Bowers from me in a team in a league like this is? Like I get any two assets off your team.
Well,
You're going to slaughter your starting roster.
I
Two-
get your
two of
101
your starters.
Garrett Wilson. Like that's the price. And you're not going to do that. No pragmatic person would ever make that trade. So at least start somewhere at tight end. Start picking up guys like Brenton Strange and Grant Calcaterra and those. I mean, you never know what they become. One
Yeah.
of 10 is going to be the starter for their team, and you didn't see it coming. Jeremy Ruckert, like one of those is going to end up being a guy where you go, okay, that's the next Colby Parkinson, or that's the next. He's starting for a year, and all of a sudden, I have a starting tight end, not a top 10 tight end, not a top 15 tight end, but a usable one.
Yeah, good stuff there. All right, I'm going to put something up from the crowd, and I'm going to make a banner. We just got to get through. It was at 9:49. We're doing quite well. Got three
Thank
more
you.
hammers to get caught.
I'm not getting them. Definitely not getting through all of them. But go ahead.
And we got 927 people that I haven't even addressed. We're $1.02 in. I know people like how we don't mess around. And apologies, we've done lots of cursing, but that's not.
I
but
don't
neither here nor there. Sorry, Hollywood Balls. But hit the like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out the channel. Shane always requests that you share, which actually you can do. You can text it to yourself and do other cool things. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. And we do have some new merch. You can see one on my head. There's a link in the description.
And
we prefer those over hammers. What's up, buddy?
Lots of holidays coming up. There are 8 days of Hanukkah. You can buy a different hat for every night of Hanukkah for your kids. And then there's also the Christmas. And 3 Kings Day is also coming. Christmas, there's 12 days of Christmas? Is that what it is? There's 12 days of Christmas. You should
I love how you called it the Christmas.
So,
Is that like kind of like a little slight, little disrespect?
No. I celebrate
across
both.
the bow.
Nope. Me and my kids, we celebrate both, but mostly because they just want as many presents as possible. So, whatever.
Nice. No, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna put one more up from the crowd because I'm still working on this other one that's making me laugh too. So, Go Jin says, "What if Bowers flops? No unproven tight end should garner such demand." Scott, what do you think here? And let's assume a shallow league, Scott, on this one. 10-team, start 9, no tight end premium. Okay.
I mean, I put that up there just because, I mean, what can he flop? I mean, he can, I guess, regress a little bit, but like he isn't unproven, right? He's already the top tight. He's not just the rookie tight end that's good. He's literally like the best tight end in the league already. So, I mean, how do you view this, Shane? Because I know some people have a hard time of seeing like a rookie being the best player at their position, but literally between Bowers and Neighbors and Jaden Daniels, like they're arguably the best or very close to the best players at their position. And it feels like there's just, what is it? We can't buy into it. Is it too early to buy into those guys? Or, I mean, none of them seem like their regression is due to hit. You know what I mean?
Look, if this was a tight end that came out of nowhere, maybe I'd feel a little more apprehensive. If this was some 6-round Jamoke out of Iowa, Western State, Northern University, maybe that's not Brock Bowers.
No, but you said Iowa. He's got to be somewhat good.
No, but not Iowa.
Yeah. Good catch. Good catch. That's a wrong. That's a
no.
State,
so here's where you're making the mistake. It's actually an online college. You know how a lot of them sound like, oh yeah, this
he
is
really
Harvard.
lives in like New Mexico, but they call it Iowa. Okay, yeah.
Right. So either way, look,
he identifies as Iowa. Or
his collegiate profile tells us that he's probably going to be very good, right? His production thus far shows that he's going to be really good. I don't foresee him flopping. I mean, I would say that calling him unproven is,
and he's going to get a 30% target share the rest of the year.
He's unproven in the sense that he's only played 6 NFL games, and he's been a top 3 tight end in half of those. So I don't know if we could call him unproven so much. Yeah, signals so far suggest that he's a buy high. And again, it's not just the games he's played. The dude was a Debbie superstar from the time he was 18 or so. Like he was on the radar, the NFL radar, going back some time. He was drafted. What was he drafted overall? I'm sorry.
13th,
he was top 15.
Right. And if you want to throw Eric Ebron at me, yes, it happens. You know what I mean? But I would say that there's more reason to believe that he's going to be elite than not.
Yeah, good talk there. Okay. Johnny Cakes got us 3 hammers, and it's 9:54. We're going to try to make a couple more moves here. 2 hammers after this one. Scott, dear dudes, I'm a fan of your takes. I appreciate it. Please help us. I need some of your strategic wisdom. Well, our takes hopefully are strategic wisdom because we don't give you the one-on-one player takes. P.S. I happen to be a deeply closeted gay man, and the one in the middle. Wait, me? I'm the guy in the middle. No, you don't.
Where is this question going?
I'm the guy in the middle. I literally that's what
play is Ron Burgundy. Put it on the teleprompter.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I'll read it. I'm
Ron Burgundy.
Please help. Please help. I need some of your strategic wisdom. P.S. I happen to be a deeply closeted gay man, and the one in the middle. Nice. This has got to be Dynasty Drizzy. That guy has a fucking badge. Okay, I will not trade Trey Lance. This is a 12-team superflex PPR, no tight end premium start 9. Scott, you're working with Kyler, Stafford, Bryce Young, and Trey Lance at exclamation points or all caps. Hendon Hooker and Huntley, Ken Walker, Tracy, Mitchell, Lloyd, Vidal, McNichols, Lobb. Nice trash can team here. Marv, Nico, Waddle, JSN, JMO, Addison, Dubs, and then has Kraft and Johnson at tight end. Says thank you. Okay. So it looks like just help strategic vision style. He's gay, is the guy in the middle. It is a 12-team, no tight end premium start 9, Scott. What are you doing with this team?
I think the guy in the middle should answer this question. Ooh. What are you doing with this team, Clay?
Yeah. Can somebody give me a second though? I was doing a lot of reading and wasn't able to digest. Shane was dialed in.
Take a second. The team was led by Kyler Murray.
Should be easy enough, right? 12 by 9, no side end premium. Okay. What is the move?
I don't think there's another quarterback you can trade here, Clay. Stafford, Bryce, Huntley.
This is a blow up. But let's look at the wide receivers are nice, though. So we have Marv, Nico, Waddle, JSN, Shamo. I don't see any picks listed. And Johnny Cakes would have mentioned the picks. Okay. All right. So let me talk through Shank.
Let me clean this up. I'm
the gay guy in the middle.
Well, apparently that's a Norm Macdonald reference. Someone put it in there, and then I just Googled it, and it's something that he said on Larry King. So apparently we are not Norm Macdonald fans. Which probably reflects poorly on us in the eyes of the community. But anyway, That's all.
That's
That's
were you going to tee anything up for Clay? That really wasn't a tee up.
I thought you were
Interrupt.
talking about football.
It was
for a
just a
second.
non sequitur. Sorry, guys.
Not a tee up, an interrupt.
No, that's good though, because that frames up how old Johnny Cakes is. So okay, won't trade Lance. That's fine. Quarterbacks, yes, that needs to be addressed. I'm putting everything on the block. I obviously want to keep my cool stuff like Marv, Nico, Shamo. Everything is on the block. Honestly, I would be happy to take this thing down to nothing. Quarterback, I'm not even trying to spend. I'm not even trying to move my wide receivers to get cooler at quarterback. This is a blowout for me. I'm having fun with this one. I'm trying to keep Marv or Nico, JMO, whatever, but giddy up. What do you think?
I mean, I realistically have to look at this team. Like, what does it have to trade? What could you put out there that other people would go, I really need to get that? Probably Ken Walker.
Yes.
Probably JMO would be a piece you could trade. Tyrone Tracy, you could trade. Kamani Vidal, you could trade. Apparently, he's good now. That's a guy you could at least get a pick for. Maybe it's a third, something like that. But you kind of have to just play this team week to week. Like, there's going to be some of these pieces that you absolutely would. It's no point in trading Matt Stafford or Bryce Young right now. Like, nobody would even want them. So you'd have to wait until there's a window where, okay, you could actually mercifully get rid of one of those guys. So I think you just go piece by piece. I mean, isn't that what a dynasty rebuild looks like now, Shane? Is what can I trade this week? And I need to probably trade them now because next week I may not be able to move them. Tyrone Tracy, Romeo Dobbs, like trade those guys while somebody might want them. I mean, you got to kind of move now.
Here. You grind at the margins if you have a crap team like
no,
this.
you have to acknowledge the guys on your team that have value now and may not have it in 2 weeks, even though you may say, okay, I don't really like JMO any worse or better than somebody else in 2 weeks, but the community thinks he's great right now. Like, he's coming off a good game. He's on a good team that everyone just saw demolish Dallas. Like, everyone wants pieces of the Lions. The narrative is now without Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions are going to have to score 40 points a game, which, like, that's the time to sell JMO. So you send offers for JMO. Don't wait for somebody to come to you with an offer. Like, have a price in mind. Spam. There you go.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, I've seen. We already hit that starred one. Let's find one from the crowd here. Let's go all the way up to the top. Sorry, I'm going to do some scrolling. Imagine you're hearing some. Okay, Jared got on that. Let's go to. You did a good job. You did a good job hitting these. Drew Sorensen Music. He's one of our OGs. Says, I bought Garrett Wilson for Derrick Henry and B-Rob. And that has a little smirk face action.
That's a lot of points. I get it. Just saying, it's a lot of points, man. It's a lot of points. So, just that to say, like, whoever traded Garrett Wilson, I can understand why they did it. I don't know if I would do it, but I could understand it. You're giving up a 30-year-old running back and Brian Robinson.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna see if Ethan's has an inbox trade or something. Advice to do on the situation. Ian, we're gonna hit yours on a hammer stream this week. buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5. Get yours in as well because you will be number 3 in line. Let me make sure that Cup of Joe didn't have some. Oh. Okay, we got to hit this one. Can't stop trading. Bought us 5 hammers. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here piece by piece. Shane, let me get you started here. What did you do on Sunday?
The face from Shane is just priceless.
What'd you do on Sunday, Shane?
Oh my god!
Like, where you're watching football, but where were you? Where was your right hand?
Was at my best friend's house watching the game.
Come on, Shane, help me out here, dude. I'm trying to make a freaking banner. You're big selfish looking at your phone, sending trade offers.
Well, because I really don't feel like doing a 5 hammer at 10 o'clock at night when I want to get off this stream. But I was watching football Sunday, watching the Eagles beat the Browns. And my son went to his first football game with his mother, so that was fun.
Mm.
He had a good time. And
Shane got to slog through that Browns-Eagles game that the Eagles coach mercifully taunted the Eagles fans after the game because he just beat the worst team in the league by 4 and needed some terrible red zone play by the Browns to survive the game miraculously.
The Browns offensive line is not good. I will say that. I will definitely say that is definitely, dude, get out of here. This guy's really annoying me. You're putting user in the timeout.
Mention his say his name. Say his name.
Screw him. He's been a dick.
Well, put it in the private
being a
chat.
dick and he's putting
private
political shit in there. Like, just jerk off, dude. Go away.
Mention his name in the private chat. We can make sure he's muted for
people have freedom of speech. You may say what you want. It's okay.
You can say whatever you want, but not on my show.
I've been a diva today. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Okay, so this was from Can't Stop Trading. Got us 5 hammers. Thank you very much, man. That's $25. Buy me a coffee doesn't take a huge rake. Scott says, y'all rock. Love listening every week. It's a 12-team superflex, PPR, 1.5 for the tight end, start 11. Quarterbacks, Mahomes and Lamar. Running backs, Etienne, Monty, Stevenson, Pacheco, and Pollard. Wide receivers, Kupp, Adams, Terry, Diggs, and Lockett. Tight ends, Kincaid and Ingram. Grab Scary Terry for a 25 second on week 2. Grab Diggs for a 26 second. Luke McCaffrey. Traded Higgins for Kupp. Okay. 5-1. Feel like I'm skating by each week. Playoffs feel insight. Don't feel like I'm winning at all. Can't find a first for Terry. Okay. Put a bunch of stuff in here in terms of moves that he's trying to make. And I want to give what's up.
I'm just going to get to the question. So this is one for everybody listening. Read the league. Look at the trades you're making. If I can continue to make these trades, why would I ever overpay for a receiver when every year I can go, let me just give a second for Diggs, a second for McLaurin, a second for Adams. Like I'll just go and patchwork it together in the short term. Now I'm looking at this roster. You have too many running backs on this team. You can afford to sell a running back, whether you get Pacheco back or not, that's another story. Like you can probably afford to sell a running back. And you know why I would sell a running back here? To give me an extra second or two that I can go then buy another receiver when I need one down the road. Like this team, this is one where most people are probably looking at this. You guys were shaking your head when you said McLaurin for a second, Diggs for a second. Like who was selling those guys for a second in week 2? You know what I mean? So if you can continue to make leagues or moves like this in your league, you know what I would focus on? Continuing to have disposable income in the form of picks every year, so I can make liquidity like this.
Let's talk about this. So we did. We'll end on this one. This hammer anyway. We did get 5 from them. So yeah, real quick, Shane. 12-team superflex, start 11. This is fairly deep, and let's look at the number of assets there. We don't see a lot. Go ahead.
It's a lot of, older assets. But what I was going to say is you haven't had Kupp for, I don't know, it's been 4 weeks now, at least 5 weeks maybe. You haven't had Adams for the last 2, and you're still winning. So you get those 2 back, throw them in the offense. Obviously, Adams will play this week. Kupp, maybe not this week, the following week. Diggs is obviously going to be the wide receiver too. Still, I guess it doesn't matter if it's Nico or Tank Dell, but your team's going to be getting better with Kupp and Adams. Like Scott said, you could afford to move off one of these running backs. It just so happens that you only have a couple healthy ones with Etienne and Stevenson and Pacheco all being injured. So I don't know if you could definitely move off of one of the running backs right now. But like Scott said, if your league economy says that you can buy, you did it. You can buy Diggs and McLaurin for a second. No one's going to
insert 29-year-old receiver that somebody will sell every year. Like I'd rather just have picks, right? Like if I assume those deals are going to happen every year, then wait till next year to do it.
Yep. But good, Clay, you were gonna.
No, please give me like 20 seconds, and I got to put one other thing up. Go ahead, just.
Now I'm interested by. So what was his record? What was the second half of this? He said he was 5-1 already, but he's skating by. I mean, at some point you pretty much are duty bound or almost forced to attempt to win. And when you're 5-1, short of going 0, what is there usually about 13 games? Yeah, so short of going 0-6, nope, that's not math. Going 0-7, you're probably going to make the playoffs, right?
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year, this is a bigger picture macro topic that we could probably cover on future shows. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is you do not need, especially if you have a league like this that's active and makes deals like this, you do not need an entire built out roster of what's going to get you home at the end in week 2. Because you know why this team, do you know why this team probably is still winning? Because when they, because they were forced to start Tyler Lockett because they didn't have anybody else. And they're like, oh, I'll just throw that guy in. And when you hit on those, you realize like, man, some of the decisions that I've had to make, I made them and they worked out, but they were forced upon me. I had no choice but to play that player. And then the player ends up performing and you go, man, I had that Tyler Lockett in my lineup. It didn't look good. So I went out and made a trade to put him on the bench, and then he outscored the receiver that I traded for. Like that happens all the time, especially when you're dealing with a couple injuries. Like if it's a start 11, you don't need 18 starters to start the week, to start the year. You need 13, 14. If you get ravaged by 8 injuries, then maybe it's time to reassess. But most of my teams, the most successful ones have been the ones where I entered the year with 3 seconds, 4 thirds, and I've bought stuff as I need it because there is a team that's going, man, I really would love to sell Chuba Hubbard before Jonathan Brooks comes back. And like you can get 3 weeks of production. Now you have to pay a second for it, but I have the extra picks.
Scored a lot of fantasy points.
I planned to use it in that way. That is the thing. That is the key. I set myself up to have the need to buy something. And then I use the pick to do it. It's like I don't want to have too many decisions because then I end up not really going anywhere. I just spin in neutral.
Great stream. We're gonna end it there. It's 10:09. We have 946 people. I like to say 946 eyeballs. We have a lot of cyclopses.
947.
947. We never got to 1,000. Kind of a bummer, but hopefully people enjoyed this. Shane, Scott, you want to say bye?
No, good stream. Definitely a little more laid back and some funny moments and a lot of interesting questions. So appreciate everybody tuning in. And yeah, enjoy week 7. I say this every week, but enjoy the grind of the season. It feels like a grind. There's so many injuries and man, I feel like pressure. I got to get some trades sent out this week, but like you're going to miss it like hell when it's gone. When it's February and you're like, damn it, I wish I had a weekly NFL slate of games to set my lineups with and stuff. Like you'll miss it when it's gone. So just enjoy it. We only have 11 weeks left.
Yeah, you only get 4 months of this out of the year, right? It's literally like a season. Is that how long seasons last? I have no idea. No, I appreciate everybody watching.
No, probably 3, right? Because there's 4 seasons, 12 months. Or no, I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe sure. Yeah, sure. They're all equal. Yeah, I'm a weatherologist now. Sure. No, appreciate everybody watching, and we'll talk to you next week, right? Hopefully, there's no new injuries next week.
That'd be nice.
Move past that at least.
And Cup of Joe and Trevor's Golden Locks, I see you. Thanks so much for the donations. Get back to you soon. It didn't look like it was ultra time sensitive, but get back to you soon. All right. Cheers, everyone. Gonna end this stream. Have a good night.